I wish to welcome all of you to this press conference. We are happy that you have been able to come and join us as we address the nation on the state of the nation, economy, and salaries of staff, state officers, and senior public servants. That is the topic we are addressing. We will present the statement from this side, and once we have finished, we will give you an opportunity to ask questions, which we will attempt to answer, and you are also free to make whatever comment you may want to make arising from the statement. And then I will give you copies of the statement for each media. You can take 1 or 2 copies, depending on how many of us are around, so that you can use it for your reporting. So thank you so much for coming, and let's go right ahead and present our statement.
This is a statement issued today by Ufungamano Joint Forum of Religious Organizations. Our press statement is on the state of the nation, economy, and the salaries of state officers and senior public servants. I begin. Ufungamano Joint Forum of religious organizations background. That Ufungamano Joint Forum of Religious Organizations, originally known as Ufungamano Initiative, comprises the main religious organizations in Kenya. As a forum of religious organizations, we have been a key player in the democratization process in Kenya. We are playing a big role in the Constitution of Kenya review process from 1999. This joint forum became the stage from where the clamor for new constitution intensified, as it brought together all the major stakeholders, including civil society and political parties. Ufungamano Joint Forum of Religious Organizations continue to play its part in pushing the agenda forward until the new constitution was promulgated on the 27th of August 2010. Since then, we have focused our attention on the implementation of the new constitution. We believe this is an area of the constitution which requires the attention of all the citizens to ensure good governance in the country. Ufungamano Joint Forum of Religious Organizations strives to see a united Kenya where peace, righteousness, justice, prosperity, and patriotism prevail in our motherland Kenya, as advocated in our national anthem. As a forum of Ufungamano Joint Forum of Religious Organizations has 5 guiding values. Number 1, faith in God, righteousness, transparency and integrity, inclusiveness, and mutual respect. We, the undersigned religious leaders, drawn from various religious organizations, express our concern about the current state of our beloved country. The economy. In our address to the nation, in a press statement issued on the 31st of March 2023, the Ufungamano Joint Forum of Religious Organizations observed that the country was in a bad state economically and politically. Now, by the end of the term of the previous regime under President Uhuru Kenyatta, the country's public debt had risen to 9 trillion. Today, the country is struggling with a monumental debt payment and a huge public wage bill. The money the government raises from the taxpayer is used in meeting these two obligations, leaving very little money for development and essential public services such as security, health, and education. These services are at their worst. Recently, the media reported that the pending bills amounted to Kenya shillings 764 billion, and that the public wage bill was over 50% of the annual tax revenues. It is common knowledge that the economy is not growing. Businesses are closing down or relocating owing to the high cost of doing business in the country. The level of ordinary Kenyan ruthlessly is suffering. The pain of the high cost of living is really biting the ordinary Kenyan ruthlessly. Every day, Kenyans are becoming poorer and poorer. Many people in the country, including children, sleep hungry and in the cold for lack of food and shelter. Without a doubt, the future is extremely gloomy and frightening to all of us.
I'm Eustace Kahovia Kabwe from the Presbyterian Church of East Africa and a member of Ufungamano Joint Forum of Religious Organizations. The prime role of government elected by the people is to promote economic development for its people, to protect them from their internal and external enemies, and to create conditions which enhance their living standards wherever they are in the Republic of Kenya. Looking at the harsh economic situation, the size of the government needs to be reduced drastically in order to lower the government's expenditure. In a press statement issued on 31st of March 2023, the Ufungamano Joint Forum of Religious Organizations observed that Kenya does not need more than 16 ministries, 16 cabinet secretaries, 2 above the minimum provided for by the Constitution, Section 152. There is a saving grace in that the reduction from the current number of cabinet secretaries does not require a referendum, unlike the reduction of MPs and MCAs, as Ufungamano Joint Forum of Religious Organization advised in the statement. Reduction of the size of government and its expenditure is one of the deliberate cost-cutting measures which the President should undertake boldly in the interest of the nation. Kenya has a bloated cabinet and legislature by the world standards and can ill afford the luxury. In a population of 15 million, Kenya has 349 members of parliament and 67 senators with a GDP of $70.53 billion. The USA has a population of over 325 million with 535 congressmen and 100 senators and a GDP of $18.75 trillion. Salaries and remuneration of public servants. A few days ago, the media reported that the state officers, including the president, cabinet secretaries, members of parliament, and other senior public servants, were to receive up to 14% pay increase, according to a salaries review by the Salaries and Remuneration Commission. This proposal has created shockwaves throughout the country. What a surprise! At a time like now, the Salaries and Remuneration Commission may be exercising its mandate, but does it care about the painful economic problems the country and the people are facing, as Ufungamano Joint Forum of Religious Organizations has stated above, which are obvious? The Ufungamano Joint Forum of Religious Organizations disagrees with the proposal of increasing the salaries of the top public servants and supports the President Ruto's view that the timing is wrong and that the salary increase for this kind of public servants is misplaced because they are already earning many times more than the lower cadre. Again, by world standards, cabinet secretaries and members of parliament in Kenya are very highly paid, and their remuneration is not comparable with the neighboring countries. It does not matter how long ago their salaries were reviewed. The question is how much they are earning in comparison with others. The Ufungamano Joint Forum of Religious Organizations has had a number of face-to-face meetings with the Salaries and Remuneration Commission, and at all times has urged that their remuneration should be reduced when their contracts ended. This is what Ufungamano Joint Forum advised all along.
My name is Reverend Japhet Kiambi from the Methodist Church in Kenya, a member of Ufungamano Joint Forum for Religious Organizations. Always, Ufungamano Joint Forum of Religious Organizations has expressed the view and a concern that the remuneration differential between the top cadre and the lower cadre of public servants is unjustifiably too big. It is, to say the least, very unfair as much as it is discriminative. For example, the proposed basic salary of a principal secretary is Kenya shillings 563,365, rising to Kenya shillings 846,720, while that of the subordinate staff is from Kenya shillings 22,447 to Kenya shillings 25,317, excluding other benefits. The Salaries and Remuneration Commission, SRC, is established under Article 230 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 with a mandate to set and regularly review remuneration and benefits of all state officers and advise the national and county governments on the remuneration and benefits of all other public officers. In discharging its mandate, SRC is guided by principles set out in Article 230(5) of the Constitution and Section 12 of SRC Act 2011 in determining and advising on remuneration and benefits for public servants in Kenya. The Salaries and Remuneration Commission is one of the constitutional commissions entrenched in the Constitution, and its mandate is clear and specific. The mandate comes from the people of Kenya, who are sovereign according to the Constitution. It was established to protect Kenyans from the greed of political leaders and other public servants. In carrying out its mandate, the main consideration, which is critical, is the economic situation and the balance between the public wage bill and the tax revenue. Currently, the country is in a financial crisis, struggling to meet its internal and external debt, unable to do development and to pay salaries in time and to provide essential services. It would be therefore unreasonable and unwise to propose salary increase for top public servants already overpaid. This statement also serves as Ufungamano Joint Forum of Religious Organizations Memorandum to the Salaries and Remuneration Commission in relation to public participation in the matter. Ufungamano Joint Forum of Religious Organizations has supported Salaries and Remuneration Commission before against attacks by MPs. Ufungamano Joint Forum of Religious Organizations continues that support. But let the Salaries and Remuneration Commission do the right thing at the right time in the interest of ordinary Kenyans.
My name is Reverend Lungu Thomas, representing umbrella body called Federation of Evangelical and Indigenous Christian Churches of Kenya, a member of Ufungamano. Call for peace and patriotism in Kenya. Ufungamano Joint Forum for Religious Organizations urges the President, Honorable William Ruto, to ensure that the government does what it takes to revive the economy and to ensure the country is stable economically, socially, and politically. It must be noted that Kenya shillings 1.6 billion allotted to the top 3 executives for purchase of vehicles is a huge waste of public money. Also, we have observed that the new government has embarked on frequent retreats outside Nairobi. This must be stopped, as they also consume unnecessary sitting allowances besides enjoying hefty monthly salaries. It is imperative that all patriotic Kenyans, including politicians, observe the rule of law in their daily activities in order to promote peace and justice. In this regard, Ufungamano Joint Forum for Religious Organizations urges the opposition parties to play their rightful roles in Parliament and to seek justice where necessary, following the laws of the land. Holding the country to ransom does not augur well for a political leadership. We urge all the clergy to address and advise the faithful not to engage in violence, vandalizing property, and looting are not a peaceful process of demonstrations. Ufungamano Joint Forum for Religious Organizations reiterates that Kenya belongs to all Kenyans, big and small. Our peace is not negotiable. We all need peace in our daily lives, and the country needs peace for economic and political development for the benefit of all. For this reason, Ufungamano Joint Forum Religious Organization urges Honorable Raila Odinga to call up the demonstrations organized by Azimio and to pursue any grievances through the processes and systems provided in the laws of Kenya to promote the economy and the welfare of the country. Demonstrations do more harm to the economy. The breach of peace has proved in the past that the investors have shied away from Kenya. The planned demonstrations are harmful and dangerous to the life of the nation. At a time when Kenya is experiencing extreme problems, the country requires all Kenyans of goodwill to join hands in lifting our motherland from disintegration. God being our helper in this effort, the government and all the holders of political position should take lead, and the citizens will follow in building the nation. Conclusion: let us love one another as we love ourselves, for this is command from God. May God bless Kenya. May God bless us all. Thank you.
Yeah, fellow members of the press, you have listened to our statement, which is focusing on the economy of this country at the moment and on the proposed increase of the salaries for state officers and senior public servants by the Salaries and Remuneration Commission. It is now our pleasure to invite you as members of the press, ask any questions of clarification that you may have, and even make comment and contribute to the discussion before us, because you are also part of Kenya. And indeed, we are all obliged to work for the country in order that we can all benefit from our motherland. I now welcome you to contribute to the discussion. Who wants to start?
I just wanted to request if you can comment on the finance bill.
What specifically do you want to know about the finance bill? This has been a very controversial matter, and the view of Ufungamano Joint Forum of Religious Organizations is that that bill does not favor the ordinary man, for whom we are actually speaking in this statement. We think it was rushed. We think that the hearing that that people gave was not taken care of by the fact that the participants who gave their views actually objected to that bill. But when it got to Parliament, Parliament passed it the way I think they had already premeditated on the bill, meaning that we, the citizens of Kenya who contributed against the finance bill because of the cost of living that it was going to trigger in our lives, which are already very, very hard, are not good. So we don't think that the finance bill is good for Kenyans as we speak now. I think the Parliament should have pruned that bill in favor of the Mwananchi and in view of what we as ordinary Kenyans had expressed in our participation in the finance bill.
On the same matter, I would like to state that the role of the Parliament is to debate through every bill that's taken to Parliament. But now what we witnessed in Parliament, that the MPs from both divide either absconded their duty to discuss the finance bill in earnest, and which now is a failure to the electorate, because people aired their views and their feelings, and they were expecting that the parliamentarians would debate the whole bill and maybe bring it down to where it can favor the Kenyan citizen. Now, what we are witnessing now is a turn of events. They voted for it, but now outside the parliament, they are saying otherwise, which is a kind of a turncoat politicians. So the whole failure is to the parliament. As the clergy we bring through the parliament because they are the lawmakers. They are the ones who are supposed to go through it and amend it, and then it was passed. But as now that it is, we feel we were let down by the current parliament. That's our stand. and coming out and telling people that it's not good, to not even go well with the Kenyans because they failed us on what we are expecting them to do for us. Thank you.